One of the main highlights of Season 3 and Attack on Titan as a whole is the basement reveal at the end of Season 3 Part 2. It was something that the series had been building up to since its beginning, and its impacts over the story are so drastic that there is an Attack on Titan before the basement and one after it. Heck, if you show someone the first few episodes of Season 1 and then immediately show them the trailer for Season 4, there's probably a good chance they won't recognize that it's the same show. Well, at least until the actual Titans start showing up, but that's beside the point. It's a reveal that masterfully builds upon the foundation of the show, building over its different themes while also simultaneously unpacking the major mysteries up until this point. What is the history of the Titans? Why are the walls made up of hardened Titan skin? What were Berthold and Reiner talking about in Season 2, and what are their goals for kidnapping Eren? Who wants to destroy humanity within the walls, and what were Grisha's intentions when he stole the founding Titan? All the answers fit in perfectly with the information we have collected throughout the course of the show, and we are left with near to no plot holes. It feels as if everything that has happened up until now was an organic product of the events preceding them. People could always turn into Titans, and that is responsible for forming the world as we know it. It's just a matter of what we knew and what we didn't. This all goes to show that this entire world, or at least a huge portion of it, was structured around the main storyline and its history that we learned in the basement. And I think that is what makes these answers feel so satisfactory. The fact that they don't feel separated from the story. The answers are not forced to satisfy the questions, but instead the questions themselves were created while keeping this entire history in mind. If you randomly take any part of the show now, after the reveal, and think about it, unless it's something that has been left to be explained in Season 4, your reaction would be, oh, so that's why this happens. Because everything has been that well thought out. Like, going on a small tangent here, but I was genuinely surprised when I noticed that these two birds in the first scene of episode 1 are birds that are found near coastal areas, hinting that the walls are built on an island. Yeah, from the first fucking episode. This shows that Isayama knew what he was doing all along, from the beginning, which not only sounds cool, but also implies that everything up until this point has been done for a purpose. Like, for example, exploring the different themes that the show presents.
この世に真実などない。それが現実だ。誰だって神でも悪魔にでもなれる。誰かがそれを真実だと言えばな。
One of the major themes in AOT is the idea of perception and what is right and wrong. So it's downright incredible how the story manages to play with how we, the viewer, perceives its different aspects. For example, we are told that Grisha is responsible for killing the Race family and stealing the founding Titan. He is painted and the seen as the wrongdoer here. But when the reasons behind those actions are explained and we see just how desperate he really was, we support him for taking away the coordinate from the royal family. We start to root for something that we first found to be wrong. Because in the world of Attack on Titan, nothing is inherently right or wrong.
何が本当に正しいかなんて俺は言ってない。そんなことはわからないからな。お前は本当に間違っていたのか。
Remember this piece of shit? He is a person who doesn't feel any remorse in turning people into Titans, and called Faye's death to be educational. Basically the ugly bastard of AOT. But take a look at this.
駆逐してやる。この世から一匹残らず。
お前らエルディア人をこの世から一匹残らず駆逐する。これは全人類の願いなんだよ。
The show even makes sure to use the exact same wording. I can't help but feel a need to make a connection. Eradicating the Titans is technically the same as eradicating Eldians. After all, Titans are Eldians, just the ones who had the worst fate. Basically, what the basement reveal did was, it took the premise of Attack on Titan and flipped it over its head. Attack on Titan built itself on a simple conflict. But the idea of what is right and wrong calls for a morally grey story. And it is. Now the conflict is extremely complicated. So why did Isayama create such a black and white world in the first place? Well, I like to believe that Isayama did this to make the story into something meaningful. Not some story where the meaning is just implied, but one where we genuinely feel it. It's done to explore and build upon the themes of the show, like how just the right context can change what we consider to be right and wrong. He builds this black and white image just to shatter it and break the way we view the world, leaving the same impact on the viewer as the characters themselves. What I find funny, however, is that these simple aspects of AOT are usually the most criticized. People complain that there isn't enough to chew on when they're intentionally made to make everything look simple. It's a build-up where Isayama was setting up his pieces, and the point of that build-up becomes relevant after the basement reveal, once the truth is revealed and the themes and ideas have developed. Now if you rewatch Attack on Titan, I'd argue there's plenty of stuff to chew upon. You just notice it after you know the full context. It's a reveal which not only changes the show into a masterpiece from this point on, but also manages to elevate the previous parts, even if you weren't a huge fan of them before. Which is why saying that I love the entirety of AOT, but not from the beginning, isn't actually wrong. And I think that is the genius of the basement reveal. But wait, the video isn't over yet. You see, I had an interesting thought the other day. Don't you think that what we learned in the basement has sort of extended Attack on Titan? In other words, doesn't Season 4 feel like an extension? I mean, by the end of Season 3, we have already killed all the Titans, taken back Val Maria, seen the ocean, and we even defeated the Colossal, the Armored, and the Beast Titan. Ignoring a few things, it all feels like a proper conclusion. And for our heroes, it most certainly does. They have achieved all of their goals. But have you noticed that freedom seems further than it has ever been? We always thought that Titans are the enemies. The sea is freedom, killing the Titans will free humanity. Right? But that's not true. Titans are the worst victims. Killing the Titans won't free humanity because humanity is already thriving, and the sea, well, the sea was just another wall. And so, there's this final thing I want to say. Bring whatever you can, Season 4, because I might not be ready, but I couldn't be more glad about it.
全部殺せば俺たち自由になれるのか。